we'll take some questions.
All right, we appreciate you guys coming. Thank you for moving it up for me so I can make my plane to go out recruiting. But obviously, was just told number one, we're on behalf of all of Baylor football and the athletic department. We're obviously excited to have the chance to go play in the Texas Bowl, and it'd be just a tremendous opportunity for us to go play in Houston, play in front of our family and friends. And I know how excited our players are. Really, as rumors are flying around, I found out when you guys found out. I was finding out on Twitter and things like that. But our players all day, just to see the joy and the excitement and how much, for a lot of the older guys to have a chance to play their last game in Houston was really exciting. So, we want to thank Academy. We want to thank the Texas Bowl. And we also want to thank all of our family, friends, all of Baylor Nation that I know will come to the game and support this team. I just found out we're playing Vanderbilt, and obviously a chance to play against an SEC team. I have had a chance to coach against Coach Mason before. He's a tremendous coach. And their quarterback, Kyle Shermer, I think when we were at Temple, we were maybe his first offer. I've known him for a long time. So we know it'll be a great challenge, but one that we're excited about and looking forward to. So with that, I'll see what questions you got.
Matt, is this a pretty ideal situation, staying in Texas, like you mentioned, the fans and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I've been just excited about the opportunity, and so, but I think I was out recruiting in Houston last week, and as I got around and I think the totality of it really started to hit me in terms of just the opportunity to go down and be in front of our fans and all the alumni that we have, in the Houston area. The fact that people all from, Baylor fans from all across the state can come down there to play in front of the high school coaches and recruits that'll have a chance to see us, if we hold open practices. I didn't realize it, but 79% of our roster is from the state of Texas. And so I think that was it just really hit me like what this really means to be able to stay in state, but to be able to go someplace new, to go down to Houston, enjoy all that Houston has to offer, I think is really exciting. And so I'm fired up. I'm fired up that's, to go spend Christmas in a hotel. Those are things that as a player I got used to at Penn State, and as a coach, playing in these bowl games, it's ideal.
Do you think that Hurd and Gaylitz will be ready?
Well, Gaylitz tore his ACL, so he's done. And I'll say that's I meant it when I said it. That was one of the most courageous things I've ever seen a guy do. He tore it in pregame, and obviously we didn't know it was torn, right? But it just didn't feel right. But it didn't feel the same as before, and didn't feel like he could kick off. And Jay stepped in and did a nice job kicking off, and then Drew went out there and punted and averaged 40 yards a punt. And then just when we got the news 2 days later, I know I was crushed, so I can't imagine how he felt. I had a chance to talk to Drew's dad, and but he went out on a high note, so I know he won't. I know he won't be available, and in terms of medically, the other guys, Jalen and some of the other guys, I'm not sure yet. We'll have to kind of wait and see, how guys are.
Well, what's Jalen's deal?
He just hurt his knee in that game, so I told Jalen in the first quarter, I said, but you probably shouldn't play in this game now. He's got a big NFL future ahead, and hurt his knee, and he wouldn't come out. We were going to play him a lot at tailback, and so he really couldn't play tailback. But he went out there and had 4 catches. He blocked. I thought that was one of the kind of along with Drew, one of the more selfless. And that's the thing about Jalen Hurd. People ask me all the time. From whatever happened at Tennessee, people ask me about him. Yeah, I don't want anybody ever ask me about him again. Now that guy played. Not a lot of guys would play after getting hurt with the future he has. But he wanted our team to win that football game, and he went out there and he didn't just say, "Hey, give me the ball." He blocked. He played hard, and I know it meant a lot to me, and it meant a lot to his teammates. So, so I'm kind of still waiting to see how healthy he'll be.
I'm not sure how much you could actually do down there, but does it help in terms of recruiting too? Just being in Houston, being close to.
Yeah. I think when one of the things about the way we try to run things and the way our players do things is that when people come watch us practice, I think you think they usually leave feeling like it's a program that knows how to practice, knows how to prepare. Things are done right. Things are done first class. Our guys are first class, and so the more high school coaches that we can get there, we'll have it all open. The more recruits that we can get there, I think the better it is for us. And it just just continuing to be in that market. Even as we've gone out to recruit now, I think people seeing that, hey, we went from one win to now going into a bowl game. People see the way that we're trending. That's been good. So I think to be down there and be in the news and be in the media, and not just the way we play in practice, but we're gonna try to go be elite at everything we do. If community service, the different events, we're gonna want to make sure that we represent Baylor as a university and as an institution the right way. And so I think that all that ties over into recruiting.
Was there a moment this season where you actually, realized or just that a bowl game was within reach?
Yeah, man, I expected to go to one. I said it. I would say that probably beating Oklahoma State was a defining moment for that. Because that gave us three cracks down the stretch to do it, and then obviously that last win was it. But I would say that Oklahoma State win was probably a really pivotal moment for this football team. They had just won the week before and beaten Texas, and for us to come back to the way those guys did was big. And so that really kind of put us in position where I said, hey, we're going to have multiple opportunities to do this. But I think it's a good lesson for our players. You look back and you say, it was the Texas Tech. No, it was beating Abilene Christian. It was beating all the wins. At the end of the year, the wins don't count more or less. And so, we've got to now become a team as we move forward that at the end of the day, we won 6 games, we lost 4, and we got beat twice. Oklahoma and West Virginia, kicked our doors down, and they're 2 of the top teams in the country. The other 4 games, we feel like if we play a little bit better here, a little bit better there, we have a better chance in those games. And so there's a lot of lessons to take from the year. But that Oklahoma State win was probably a pivotal one in getting to this point.
What was the players' reaction when they found out the Texas Bowl?
They're not here, so I don't know. But they've been texting. I mean, they've been on me all day. I mean, I think I have more information than I do. My son, because we've been recruiting all day, is like, you have to know. I said, I swear I don't. But it was cool just to see as I said, just the fact that how excited they are to stay in Texas and go to Houston. That's all I hear about all the time from the Houston guys is H-Town and the H and this and that. They love their city. And I think that's really cool that we're going to go back and play in their hometowns, and how awesome it is for their families and their parents. And I think that's a big part of this for a lot of our guys. They've been through a lot, and they have a chance to play home. They have a chance to play in their home state. They have a chance to play in front of their family and friends. I know they're excited about that.
You talked about it before, but how important, can you reiterate how important this is for these seniors that have been through all of this?
Well, I think it's so important for our seniors for a couple reasons, right? I mean, I'd like to finish with a winning season, with a winning record. I had a chance to get to 7 wins to go. I think we went +5 this year. You said something. What did you say to me?
The most ties for the most in the country.
Yeah.
Florida and Syracuse +5.
So going +5 wins tied us with Florida and Syracuse, as he said, for most wins. So I'd like to go +6, and but I think it's also just the thing that I'm most proud about this team is how they've kind of been a team. I probably had like 16 or 17, maybe 18 of our players at my house last night because we were waiting for the recruits come to my house, and they were all there sort of first, and we were watching the Alabama game. And, it's just kind of cool for me to see how old guys, young guys, guys of, different races, different positions, different places, kind of all hanging out. And that's a credit to our seniors. They've been so good about involving everyone in the team. And so for them to have one more chance to go out and play as a team, I think is really, really important. And then I don't know that anyone can ever really understand all that they have been through. I can't. And I've just been on the front lines of it for about 2 years now. But I can't, or I guess, 2 years, but I can't understand everything that they've been through. And so to come out where it's a positive story, and there's these, all the tweets today are happy, and the guys are fired up and excited. They did that, and they earned it, and they did it through hard work. And that's, if you learn a lesson coming out of our program, it's that, hard work isn't punishment. And if you want something in life, you have to earn it. And, this is, for me, it's just like a step. Like, okay, we got to 6 and 6, we got to a bowl game. But for them, it's an accomplishment. And, so I'm just proud of our seniors. And I think I've said that a lot of times. It might be boring to everybody, but, like, Tyquan Thornton's never going to know what it's like to not go to a bowl game. He better not. This better be the standard. And that was done by those seniors.
You've seen some of the early steps of leadership in your junior class after you've talked to them about what this means, them starting to take over?
Yeah, and so we practiced Friday, and we practiced Saturday, and we practiced. Friday was just all the really young guys. So like a lot of the juniors, the Clay Johnsons, the guys with 1,000 reps. They didn't practice at all, but I had all those other guys coach. And then yesterday I had just the seniors not practice, but all the other guys. And you can see guys understanding that that there's a certain way to do things, and now it's our way. And you can see those guys demanding that, and you can see those guys holding each other accountable. And I like our junior class. The guys that are going to be seniors, I think they're going to, Sam Tecklenburg up front on the offensive line. I mean, he's been a leader, but now, the last couple of days it's been his team. And Clay Johnson's been his team, and Jordan Williams and Blake Lynch, and many more. So I think you've definitely seen that. And now what we'll have to do though is we'll have to, because I've been talking about next year with all the young guys. Now that we have a bowl opponent, we'll rein it back in. And this is about this team and going 1-0 against Vanderbilt and ending this season the right way. But I've been really pleased with that junior class and the things that they've done.
Now, once you knew you were in a bowl game, some were slotted, some were invitational based on the playoff. Once you got it and you knew you were going and you knew it was the Texas Bowl, did you care who you played?
Oh, no. I mean, I thought it was really important for us I thought it was really cool for us to play an SEC team. That's a premier conference. And I thought it would be really important for us to go get a Power 5 win, and have a chance to do that's important. So I was excited about that. But even as we're walking out here, I was kind of joking with him because as I was left my office, I still didn't know who we were playing. So I was going to give you guys a bunch of coach speak, hey, they're a heck of a football team. Not knowing who it is, let you insert it later. But I think the respect I have for Vanderbilt, Coach Mason, Derek Mason. Now they had to win their last 2 games to get bowl eligible, right? I mean, they went out and earned this. They're going to be excited to play, and we're playing one of the best quarterbacks in the country, and they know how to play defense. And so I think all those things will be really good for our team. We need to go out and defend a really good quarterback, and we need to see if we can play better up front versus a really good SEC defensive line. So I was excited about those matchups, but at the end of the day, the issue is always us, and I can't control who we play. I can't control. I wanted to make sure that our guys were in this moment. But I think the matchup for us is a good one in terms of it's going to make us have to develop some areas that have not been our strengths. Because if you don't play well on the offensive line again, I was up there watching. This morning after recruiting, I've been watching Vanderbilt, then I was watching Auburn. I was just trying to get a feel for everybody. And if you're not good up front, you're going to have a hard time versus any Coach Mason team.
Matt, you kind of answered it, but how do you balance that development of those younger guys and then just getting ready for a game? Yeah,
these Friday, Saturday practices during recruiting are more about development. But then once we get through, this weekend coming up, now it'll become a bowl week. So we'll do a bowl prep, then give them a couple days, and then do another bowl prep. So we'll do 2 weeks to get ready for the game. And so right now guys have a lot of things they have to handle. They have to handle finals. We have to finish well academically. We have to continue to do the right things off the field. So we can't have any distractions, and they have to stay in shape. So those are the things I'm asking them to do. We're not practicing during the week. The coaches are recruiting. We're all over the country right now. But on the weekends we need to focus on developing, and then after this past next weekend we'll hit more into hey, let's get ready for bowl prep, and that'll be that last week, the 15th.
What are the goals of these bowl practices for you?
To try players at new positions, and to get guys reps. At the end of the day, if we can get 15 practices getting ready for this bowl game, it's like another spring practice. And so, I think a lot of that, people say, well, what is that? It's just confidence for the guys. If I'm Braylon Taylor and I just redshirted the whole year, played a couple plays here, a couple plays there with the redshirt rule, if I can get 15 practices now, if I can get 15 practices again in the spring, by the time next season comes around, I'm a lot further along than I would have been. And so, I got after the young guys on Friday. And there's recruits standing around. You'd think I'd be shaking hands. No, I wanted, even though you're not playing, I want you to understand that, I want them to feel the pressure and have to go out and produce and perform. And I was proud they responded, and they did. And so, we want to get to the point where there's one standard, whether you're when you go out to be the middle linebacker at Baylor, whether you're the fourth team guy getting a chance to go with the ones or you're Clay Johnson, when you go out to be the quarterback, when you go out to be the left tackle, there's one standard for how we want you to play. And so having the older players watch the young players, they're putting that pressure on them. Hey, run to the ball. Hey, and that, for guys that have been on the scout team all year, now they're having those opportunities. To me, it makes them tougher, but also builds their confidence. And that's what you need in football to be good. You just need confidence. And, that's what we're trying to get done right now. So, but we're also moving some guys around, trying some guys at new positions, making sure that, that guys, this is a great time to see, hey, what's my best chance to go be an NFL player? Sometimes you might be really good at your position, but another position might be even better, so we trying to utilize some of that as well.
On that confidence note, how big was Blake Lynch getting that interception in the Tech game, just kind of seeing the payoff to the work?
Because, we went in that game knowing, Coach Kingsbury's offense, that's a big thing that they're going to do over and over again. And we worked it, and we stressed it, and Blake almost had one. Then he almost had another one. And I remember Phil was on the sideline saying, hey, you're going to pick one off. And for it finally to happen was awesome. And it was timely, And I know for him, so I saw, maybe it was one of you guys on Twitter, so I don't know, someone had his stat line, carries and tackles and receptions and now an interception. He's done a lot of things in his time here. And, but I think he's settled in. I think he's one of those guys who's seeing the progress. And so that was a great culminating moment for him of all the work because, it looks like just a pick, but there's hours and hours of work that he's put in to get to that point. And now, when that happens, you hope that he's thirsty for it and wants to work even harder because he knows I can do this. And so that's what's so good about the bowl game. Now Blake has one more chance to go out and make another step. And, the step isn't about winning the game. The step is over the next however many weeks, trying to take a whole step as a team and then go find a way to win the game. And if we can do that, then we'll be much better off next year.
With Rhule out, what will you do at punter?
Connor Martin obviously did it all last year, so he should be ready. And then Isaac Power, we recruited him for a reason. So, in fact, when Drew got hurt in pregame, and we weren't really sure what I said, someone call Isaac. Maybe he's at the game, and he was in Colorado, so he wasn't at the game, obviously. But so this will be an opportunity over the next however many weeks for Isaac to go out there and see if he can be the starting punter of this game, and that will hopefully give him some momentum in the next season. And I thought one of the things for Connor last year is when he was kicking off and punting and kicking, or when he was just punting and kicking, his only kick wasn't always just a field goal. He was able to get out there and get a punt. Kind of keep himself in the game. So if we need Connor to do it, he'll do it. And then Jay, I thought, did a pretty good job kicking off in the dome. So.
The majority of the Big 12, made bowls, and Oklahoma being in the college football playoff. How big is that for the conference that they were able to make it into the Final Four?
I was fired up for Oklahoma that they were able to make it in the Final Four. And I just, it's just not seen enough yet. But to play every team in your conference every year is so hard. You just get to know each other so well, and you don't ever have the best team in the league roll off your schedule. And you go back and look at, whether it was, you look at the Big Ten, years where some teams sometimes have a great year. Some of the best teams in the league, they don't have to play them that year. And you look at the championship games that people played, take the SEC out of it, a lot of them were really good teams versus unranked teams or versus 7-5 teams. In our league, man, you have to play everybody, and then you have to have a rematch and play the second best team. It's really, really hard, and Oklahoma did it. And I have so much respect for the way Kyler Murray plays the game. That for him to not have a chance to go out and play against Alabama, to me, would have been a travesty as a football fan. I want to see Kyler Murray in the college football playoff as a fan, and that's how much respect I have for them. And so this is a really hard thing that we do, in our conference. A lot of other conferences, you play 4 non-conference games. We play 3. We play each other. So, there's a lot of teams that can kind of cannibalize each other this year. We end up with a lot of 6-6 teams. So I'm glad the payoff was there that Oklahoma got in, and they got the benefit of the doubt. And, I think they should. But based upon what they did last year, they were a play away from beating Georgia and playing in the final game. And so they earned the right to be there, and I'm glad they were there. And then, I'm excited to see all the rest of the teams in the conference go out and play against these other conferences because, being in the Big 12 for 2 years now, I recognize how good the teams are, and I recognize how good the offenses are. And so I'm excited to see, our league go out and play other leagues and see what the record is at the end.
You think Oklahoma's going to beat Alabama?
I have no idea. I think it'll be a fantastic game, and I have immense respect for Alabama, and I have immense respect for Clemson and Notre Dame, and but I also just know after playing Oklahoma, what they can do, and just as a football fan, I just want to see it. It's going to be awesome to watch.
All right.
You try to get a bunch of angry people tweeting at me. That ain't gonna happen.